So it's August 11th, and it's 9/11 right now, and 299.2 miles today. I tell you, that's one of them things where it's tempting just to ride up and down the road that extra 7/10 of or 8/10 of a mile to make it 300 even, but that's all right. That's pretty close, and especially considering the late start I got with my incident this morning, and then the stopping that I did today, and still make it almost 300 miles is pretty cool, and I'm super thankful for it. Super just great riding today. Just easy riding, wide open, pretty flat, pretty uneventful. Again, a lot of it looked like Ohio, but that said, at 5 o'clock this afternoon, we crossed the river into Minnesota. So after 2 days of riding in North Dakota, we're now in Minnesota, and we are at a campsite off of this road here, in like state forest property is, I'm gonna say what it is. They had a sign in the front of it about just the rules for riding, off-road riding up in here, something to that effect. And I knew I was, from looking at the map, I knew I was heading towards state forest, and I'm going to say that's what this is. But yeah, and I'd mentioned the road, so you won't believe the moment I turn in, I'm like, is that sand? And yes, we're on a another sand road. Not as bad, and not nearly as far up in there as last night and this morning, but it is sand. So needless to say, it was very carefully getting it up in here. Let's see what else. People today. One thing I did want to mention. I gave props to the fire department and law enforcement and all that, but somebody I left out that is of course just such a big part of that kind of a situation was the 911 operator that I talked to. I talked to him twice when I first called, and then a woman called me back after they had showed up, and when they were like looking for me. I think they were like up in the parking lot area and just hadn't came back that road yet. So she was telling me to yell for them, which I did, and I could hear them up there like yelling or something as well. And I heard a siren on one of the vehicles as it was coming in. So anyhow, I did, while I was on the phone with her, I yelled a few times, and then sure enough, then this red truck comes around the corner. But that said, the woman, I don't know if it was the same woman both times, when I called in and then when they called me back, but either way, just very, just professional, polite, and just sound like a nice woman. And I just want to say thank you, to you as well. And I really appreciate what you do. And again, just for your part and how all that worked out. And then just more people today as far as meeting people. I met a guy named Brad in Taco John's where I'd stopped to eat this afternoon. And Brad, lives out here in, lived there in North Dakota. And he's actually, sounds like he's a guide, or he owns actually the lodge, or whatever you want to call it, a hunting service for ducks and geese. And nice guy though. Brad sounds like he's done a lot of riding. He was a wildfire forest fire fighter for up until like 8 years ago, and he's like 62 now. And but he was a cool dude, big bow hunter. And like I said, now he runs that hunting service, and he's also in sales. He sells maybe boats and like side-by-sides, off-road vehicles, stuff like that is what I think it is. He gave me his business card. But anyhow, Brad was a cool dude, and good to meet you. And again, he's done a lot of riding. He's ridden up to Alaska, on a Harley and all that good stuff too. So it's good talking to you, brother. And then at a gas station, a little while after that, in big town of Lakota, North Dakota, I met a young man that worked in there, and I think, and Bud, I'm sorry, man, I think it was Andy, but anyhow, and I gave him my my YouTube channel and all that, and he pulled it up right then. So I hope you're watching, man. And again, I apologize that I'm not 100% certain about your name, but it was good to meet you. And so yeah. And then let's see, what else? You know, I don't know if I'd mentioned that yesterday, you know, as far as milestone, 17,000 miles. Yesterday afternoon or evening, we hit that big milestone. And then also, you know, of course, today, this evening, this afternoon, I guess it was, just a milestone of riding into Minnesota. You know, again, my second to last state. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that, pretty pumped. But you know, too, it's kind of funny coming into Minnesota. I was crossing a bridge, and there was a sign on the bridge, you know, overhead, as you know, I'm riding through, and I've got the GoPro on, so at least I got video of it, and I point up at it, you know, like "Welcome to Minnesota." But then when I crossed the bridge, I saw no signage whatsoever about Minnesota, so I wasn't, you know, I didn't pull over and, you know, take any pictures or anything like that. But which was kind of surprising. I didn't see it. I mean, maybe it was there, but I sure didn't see it. But there was kind of a lot going on there. It was kind of a, you know, it was like right in town, from you know, one town from Grand Forks into the crossing into Minnesota into this other town, which unfortunately I'm not sure what the other town was. I'm gonna have to look. But anyhow, so it was kind of all townage like, and so you know, again, there was just like, you know, roads and, you know, whatever else was going on there. It wasn't like often, you know, you're out in the country and it's just wide open and there's a big sign. But like I said, there might have been a sign though there. And then lastly, well, a couple things. So here, mosquitoes are, I want to say, yeah, I guess I'd say tearing me up. They're getting me pretty good. I haven't dealt with that in a while. The bugs being bad. And then that, and then also I'm feeling something that I have not felt in, I'm going to say, months, and that is humidity. It is humid here, actually, and I know Minnesota's got a lot of water, so I would say that probably makes all the difference. And again, just the too, as far as the bugs, is just very, very green, and that's what was interesting too. You know, when I first came into Minnesota, looked a lot, you know, again, a lot like Ohio, I think. But then at a certain point this evening, it started to, you know, instead of all agriculture, you know, we started getting into just more, you know, just more trees on either side of the road, and pine trees, and like we're camped this evening. I mean, there's a bunch of pines and all, and this, I mean, this could be the Yukon, is what it reminds me of, or, you know, again, Michigan, UP of Michigan, or Maine, or, you know, anything like that. But this, it feels remote, and it's very green and very piney, and it's pretty cool. I mean, I'm digging it already. I do like it, what I've seen of it. So yeah, that, and two, as far as the bugs go, I did want to mention one more time about those grasshoppers the other day. And, you know, I mean, I'd never seen anything like that before in my life. Grasshoppers that thick. Talk about walking through them and them flying up, and then, like I said, you know, all of them, you know, bouncing off my shins and all that, and covering my pants and my boots like they did. But also, while I was riding, I would there at different times I would go through like swarms of them. And again, like I said, I was getting hit in the face and everything, and I would close my outer visor. You know, I'd get hit and then I'd close it, you know, real quick, or I'd see them coming and I'd close it. Because really, I think a good, I guess, what's the word, analogy or whatever of it, I felt like it was like, it's like I was in the Millennium Falcon going through a like an asteroid field or something, with grasshoppers, you know, bouncing off of the ship, and the ship being my face, my head, you know. So it was wild, you know, and again, it would be real brief. There'd be like a, you know, just a swarm of them, and then, you know, a little bit later, you'd hit another swarm of them, and it was just, you know, again, it was just different. It was wild. A lot of grasshoppers. So all that said, it's dark. It's fairly dark. It's not completely dark, but as far as the camera goes, I could tell you're not seeing a thing now, it looks like. So I should shut it down. I mean, I feel like I covered everything anyhow. You know, one thing also about today, it was, you know, a little bit cooler today, in the 70s, I guess. And, you know, on the bike, it felt nice and cool to where I layered up on top again, which I haven't done in, you know, a few days now, since before Multana, I guess, or Malta, or yeah, and the Multana, you know, the motel. I keep mixing them up, but it's so easy to do. That just flows so well, you know, the Multana. What a great name, you know, for a motel in Malta. But anyhow, yeah, I haven't wore layers since, coming into there, I guess, you know, when I had the cold and rain. It's been warm these past few days, and but today, you know, it was cooler to where I layered up a little bit on top, and it felt good all day. But like I said, it's a little humid here this evening. Oh, but yeah, I was just going to say it's been overcast all day, and it's like been threatening rain all day. And there's been a couple times where I would ride, there was evidence of rain, you know, the roads were wet from where it had rain. But as far as the rain that I experienced, nah, I just got a few sprinkles on me just here and there today, and that was it. So that was a real blessing, especially to look like it did all day and to never really get rained on. That was nice. I'm thankful for that. So yeah, just blessed to be here in Minnesota, and I'm gonna shut her down. So thanks for listening. God bless y'all, and good night.